You're listening to Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM.
Hey there, my dear night owls. If your holidays were supposed to feel magical and instead left you a little off, you're in the right place. I'm Mark. This is Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM. Your company when the parties are over and the dishes are done. January has a reputation for being brutal. Surveys say it's the least liked month for a lot of people, and mental health folks even talk about post-holiday blues hitting hard right after New Year's. That's why this show exists, to give you something real to listen to in the middle of the night, a few human stories, and maybe a softer landing as you drift off. Maybe you just got home from a long drive. Maybe the house is finally quiet, and it feels too quiet. Maybe you're the one who made it all look perfect for everybody else, and now that it's over, you're not sure what to do with yourself. When I was a kid, my mom could turn a tiny apartment into a Christmas catalog overnight. Cinnamon in the air, too many ornaments, Santa faces on every flat surface. My dad dragged in the biggest tree he could find and swore at it under his breath while it tried to tip over in the cheap plastic stand. I love my dad. And later, my holidays didn't turn into a movie either. Some years were really good with people I loved. Some years I worked straight through. A few I mostly remember as loud parties and a hangover. And then there were the quiet ones. Just me, some leftovers, and whatever was on TV, trying not to think too hard about what everyone else was posting. For a long time I thought that meant I'd messed something up somewhere. Like I'd missed the version where it all feels easy and full. Now I think it just means I've lived through more than one kind of holiday, which probably makes me a lot like you. So if the last week left you a little hollow or restless or just tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, you're not broken, you're just human. And that's what we're talking about tonight. If any of that sounds familiar, you're who this show is for. Let's go to the phones. First up is Andy calling from a truck stop somewhere outside Cleveland. Andy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey Andy, how's the weather out there? You staying warm?
Little icy, but the diesel's still running, so nothing to complain about.
Good. That's the kind of optimism I was hoping for tonight. So, tell me, what was your holiday situation this year?
Honestly, did about as little as humanly possible. Didn't decorate, didn't see family, just took extra work shifts. Figured if I kept busy it wouldn't feel as empty.
Did it work?
Not really. I just felt disconnected. I don't know, like something's out of joint, but there's nothing you can do about it, so you keep driving. Maybe you just get used to it after a while.
How long have you been doing that? Taking extra shifts during the holidays?
Going on 4 years now.
Was there something that happened 4 years ago that changed things?
Yeah, divorce. Final papers came through right before Thanksgiving that year.
That's rough timing.
Yeah, we were together 11 years. Had our, rituals, you know? She'd make this Swedish coffee cake her grandma taught her when she was a kid. I'd put up lights on the house and the plastic snowman out. Stupid stuff that didn't seem important until it was gone.
Doesn't sound stupid to me.
Guess not. Anyway, first Christmas after, I just couldn't do the whole thing. Told my dispatcher I'd take any route, any schedule. Ended up in Albuquerque on Christmas morning, eating breakfast at a Denny's.
How was that?
Weird. Quiet. There was this family a few tables over. Mom, Dad, 2 little kids. They were all wearing matching pajamas, like they just opened presents and then decided to go get pancakes. Kids were playing with these little toy cars on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sat there with my coffee thinking, that could have been me, you know? We talked about kids, never got around to it. Always next year. Next year.
That's a lot to sit with in a Denny's.
Yeah. So I asked for the check and got back on the road. Been doing the same thing every year since.
Do you ever talk to your ex-wife?
Nah, she remarried pretty quick. Moved to Arizona. Got a kid now, actually. I saw on Facebook.
You still check her Facebook?
Not regularly. Just, sometimes. Late at night in the cab when I can't sleep. Stupid habit.
We all have those.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, she seems happy. That's good.
What about your family? You mentioned not seeing them for the holidays.
They're back in Michigan. Mom, stepdad, 2 sisters. They do this big thing every year at my sister's place. Lots of people, lots of noise.
And you don't want to be a part of that?
It's not that I don't want to. It's just, they're all so settled, you know? Both my sisters have kids. Everyone's got their place at the table, their role. And then there's me, the guy who shows up with a duffel bag, sleeps on the couch, and doesn't know any of the inside jokes anymore.
The outsider coming in.
Exactly. And they try. They really do. Mom always calls, says, "Just come home, Andy. We miss you." But then I get there and it's just, I don't know how to be there anymore.
That disconnected feeling again.
Yeah. Like I'm watching everyone through a window or something.
Do you think part of you is protecting yourself by staying away?
Maybe. Hadn't really thought about it like that.
What do you mean?
Well, it's easier, isn't it? Being on the road. Nobody expects anything from you except to deliver the load on time. Nobody's disappointed when you don't show up for dinner or forget someone's birthday.
Sounds lonely, though.
I'm used to it. Got my podcasts, audiobooks, talk to other drivers at stops. It's not like I'm completely alone.
But holidays make it feel different?
Yeah, holidays they're when you notice. All those Christmas songs on the radio about going home, being with family. Every truck stop's got those sad little trees with the blinking lights. Even the gas stations have that peppermint coffee and those Santa hats on the cashiers. Can't escape it.
It's everywhere this time of year.
And then it's over. And everyone goes back to normal. And I feel like I missed something important again. Like I'm always just driving past the good stuff, you know?
I think I do know. So what happens next week when the decorations come down and it's just January?
Same as always. Routes, deliveries, truck stops, repeat. Got a long haul to Florida coming up.
Ever think about doing something different for next Christmas? Breaking the pattern?
Sometimes. My younger sister keeps inviting me. She's got a new baby I haven't even met yet. Sends me pictures all the time.
That's something.
Yeah, but then I think about walking in there after all this time. All the questions. How's life on the road, Andy? Met anyone special yet, Andy? Still living in that apartment, Andy? And I don't have the answers they want to hear.
Maybe they just want to hear from you. Period. Not specific answers.
Maybe. My mom did say something like that last time we talked. Said she doesn't care what I'm doing as long as I'm okay.
Moms are good like that.
Yeah, she's pretty great actually. Makes these care packages sometimes and mails them to truck stops along my route. cookies, hand warmers, those little packets of coffee.
That's really sweet.
It is. I don't tell her enough.
You know, it sounds like there are people who really care about you, Andy, even if connecting feels hard right now.
Yeah, I know that. Logically, I know that.
What do you think is the hardest part about going back? Really?
I think I'm embarrassed that my life didn't turn out like I thought it would. Everyone else moved forward, and I'm just circling. Same routes, same truck stops, same empty apartment I barely live in.
That's a heavy thing to carry around.
Sometimes I sit in traffic, looking at all these cars with families in them, kids in the back seat, and I wonder how everyone else figured it out. The whole life thing.
I don't think anyone has it truly figured out, Andy. Most of us are just trying not to crash the car.
Yeah, feels like I'm white-knuckling it half the time.
Here's something I'm wondering. If next Christmas looked just 5% better than the last few for you, what would have to be different? Not a perfect movie, just 5% less bleak.
5%, huh? I guess actually showing up somewhere, seeing my family, meeting my niece, eating food that isn't from a styrofoam box.
That sounds like more than nothing.
Yeah, but then I picture walking through that front door and everyone turning around like, oh look, he finally decided to show up.
If they do that, you can shrug and say, yeah, traffic was hell, and then sit down and eat anyway.
Maybe.
You don't owe them a TED Talk about your life. You just have to be there long enough to let them hug you and shove food in your hands.
Mom would definitely shove food in my hands.
Sounds like a solid plan, honestly.
I don't know if I'm ready for a whole week of that, though.
Then don't make it a week. Make it a day, or an afternoon, or just Christmas Eve and then back on the road. Small dose. See how it feels.
Yeah, a day I could probably handle.
What do you think your mom would do if you called her tomorrow and said, hey, next year I might actually come home for Christmas, just for a day?
She'd probably start crying. In a good way.
That sounds like a phone call worth making.
Yeah, maybe it is.
You don't have to fix your whole life in one holiday, Andy. Just maybe don't run quite as fast from the next one.
I'll think about easing off the gas a little.
That's all I'm asking for. Thanks for spending a part of your night with us.
Thanks for picking up. Makes the miles go by easier.
Drive safe out there.
You got it. Good night.
We'll be right back with our next caller. In the meantime, enjoy this short musical break.
listening to Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM.
All right, let's take one more call.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for listening to people.
Are you hiding out in a laundry room? It's got that echo.
Close. I'm in my garage, actually. I didn't want to wake the kids.
Good move. Nothing ruins a mood like a toddler walking in during grown-up talk.
Exactly.
So, Sarah, what made you call tonight?
Well, it's embarrassing, honestly. I don't have a dramatic story. My family's fine. My marriage is fine. Job's fine. I hear people with real problems, and it's like, why am I complaining? I feel ridiculous complaining.
You're not in a contest, Sarah. So let's just start where you are. What happened over your holidays?
It wasn't bad. It was textbook. Christmas Eve at my in-laws, Christmas morning breakfast at our place, kids tearing through presents, then dinner at my mom's. Ham, pie, home alone for the 1,000th time.
You're not exactly selling me on the magic, Sarah.
I know, it sounds like a commercial. But the whole time I felt hollow. Like I was just watching it happen.
Like you were acting your way through it instead of living it.
Yes, I made the ham, wrapped the gifts, charged my mother-in-law's phone so she could stream the kids opening presents. And all day I had this empty stomach feeling for no reason. And then I hear myself and think, God, Sarah, you have healthy kids, a decent job, a husband who tries, a roof that doesn't leak, and you're sad because what? The pie wasn't right?
Out of respect for your pie loyalty, I won't name brands. Was there a moment when that hollow feeling really hit?
Yeah, I was in the dining room, putting out paper plates because I was done with dishes. My daughter was standing on the heat vent, her dress puffing up, giggling like crazy. My husband was fixing his mom's coffee with 3 spoons of sugar, and I remember thinking, I am here. I have a good life. But I feel like I'm in a snow globe just watching. Like my job is to keep winding it up and making it look right for everyone. But I can't feel any of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. You're holding the snow globe, shaking it up, but the little plastic family inside doesn't actually connect to you.
That's better than how I put it. But yeah.
Were you always like this around the holidays, or is it new?
I don't remember feeling like this as a kid. My parents split when I was 10, but I love the holidays anyway. Weird, patched together Thanksgivings at roller rinks or random aunts' apartments. Always noise and mess and this electricity. My uncle used to rent out a whole roller rink, 30 adults and rented skates, wobbling around with plates of turkey and yelling in different languages. I love that chaos.
So when did it turn into paper plates and holding your breath?
Somewhere in my 20s. Maybe when I got married. My husband's family is kind but formal. Spreadsheets for holiday meals, gifts on color-coded tables. I brought one of my family's ugly hot dishes once, and they looked at it like a science experiment. I spent a lot of time trying to match their tone.
And your side? You said you went to your mom's for dinner this year.
Yeah. She remarried a dentist. He's fine, but my stepbrother, let's just say it's good I didn't bring alcohol. My mom seems tired in a way she didn't before, spending the whole night policing vegetables and politics. It looked exhausting.
Was your husband with you for the whole day?
Yeah, he's always with me, actually. He's a good human. He can tell I get stressed doing these family rotations, so he just goes into golden retriever mode like, what can I do? Who can I entertain? It helps, but he gets tired too.
You make it sound like both of you are running a marathon together every holiday.
We kind of are. Except at the finish line, there's just leftovers and passive-aggressive text from a step-aunt.
I think there should be a medal, or at least a pie.
I didn't mean to make it sound so grim. I know how lucky I am. I just feel like there's this thing I'm not naming, and it gets bigger every year.
Let's try and name it. Not a diagnosis, just what does the emptiness want to say, if you had to guess?
I think it wants someone to notice it. Or notice me. Not in a save me way. I just sometimes wish someone would look at me and say, "You okay?" And mean it, you know?
When was the last time someone did?
I honestly can't remember. Not in a long time.
Even your husband?
He tries, but he's busy keeping everything afloat. In his family, unless something's on fire, you're fine. When I say I'm sad, he goes straight into fix-it mode. Trash, takeout, little gifts. I love him for it. But it's not the same as someone just letting you be sad for a minute.
Do you ever tell him that? Just sit with me. You don't have to fix it.
No. I'm afraid he'll feel guilty, or think I'm mad at him or the kids, or that I'm weak. I was raised to be strong, like my mom. Anything else feels like a defect.
It doesn't sound like a defect. You just got so good at holding everything together that no one realizes they should ask if you need help.
Yeah. I'm the one who runs Secret Santa, stocks the Advil, and manages all the sign-up sheets. If I drop dead tomorrow, 30 people would mainly worry about who's taking over the cupcake calendar.
Maybe that's why this year felt so quiet. It caught up with you finally.
Maybe. Maybe it just caught me off guard. I keep waiting for a time when I feel like the real me again, but I hardly remember what she was like.
I don't know you, but I'm betting she's still in there. She probably just needs 1 weekend away from the sign-up genius.
Honestly, I think I want the opposite. I want someone else to tell me what to do for once. Or even just bring me a glass of water without me asking. I don't want to blow up my life or blame anyone. I just want to feel a little more seen, not only useful.
If you're listening, Sarah's husband, now is your moment.
You know, the weirdest part is how much I love all of it. My kids, even when they're attacking each other with wrapping paper tubes. My husband, even when his social battery dies at 7 p.m. and he hides in the garage. I chose these people. I want this life. I just wish I could hit pause on being in charge and actually join the chaos instead of directing it.
That's a fair wish. You can love your life and still want a break from being the director.
Yeah. I just don't know how to ask for it. It feels like if I stop, everything falls apart.
What would stopping look like tomorrow? Smallest version.
Sour gummy worms in bed? Laundry ignored for 2 days? And 4 episodes of some dumb show I don't even like?
That's not a cry for help. That's, I need to be 14 again for a day.
Maybe. I just worry that if I told them to manage a weekend without me, they'd live on string cheese and break the dishwasher. Not the end of the world, but still.
They might surprise you, especially if you tell them what's going on before it all explodes.
Maybe I'll try it. Not the exploding, but...
The gummy worm vacation, then. You have my official permission, if it helps.
I really appreciate that. I don't know why I called, honestly, but it helps, just saying it out loud.
Sometimes that's all you need. And if your husband does listen back to this, I have a message for him. Next time you see Sarah staring off at nothing, don't bring a solution, just the glass of water. Sit with her a little.
He'd probably bring me a Gatorade and then ask if I want to watch basketball with him.
Honestly, that sounds kind of great.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Thanks, Sarah. Really. A lot of people feel how you do, but don't say it. You helped more than you know.
Thank you, Mark. Have a good... whatever night it is.
We'll be back right after this.
On a perdu la chaleur des couchers de soleil. J'ai passé l'été à fuir, j'ai même volé des cocktails. Les mouettes qui partaient vers l'île, mon idylle, c'était bien. Les amis, c'était bien. Les amis, c'était bien. Mais il faut rentrer. Et les rentrées scolaires, et les rentrées solaires, et les rentrées sociales, et rentrées tard. Trop tard. J'ai hâte de rentrer juste pour être vue. Si t'as peur, je suis avec toi, dis-le-moi. Et si je te crois, je te ferai voir que tu n'as pas à t'inquiéter du grand retour. C'était bien, mais il faut rentrer.
You're listening to Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM.
All right, let's take one more call. Bo, you had a Christmas Eve layover in Munich that did not go as planned, right?
That's the one. Hi, Mark. Hi, listeners.
Hey, Bo. So, you were supposed to be home for Christmas, but
I was not. Not even close. Instead of my living room, I was in one of those generic airport hotels. My Christmas dinner, a vending machine burrito, and some mystery chips. I stacked the cans into a snowman, which tells you how much energy I had left by then. But honestly, it turned out way cooler than I ever expected.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so I do sales for a European appliance company, right? This year, I had to go to Seoul the week before Christmas for this end-of-year meeting thing. No big deal, supposed to be 3 days. But overnight, every executive in the company, myself included, caught something like the death flu.
Is that the technical term?
It is now. I lost like 10 pounds in 3 days. And I do not recommend it unless you want to see what hallucinating in a power suit feels like. Anyway, I limp onto the return flight, desperate to get home. There's a blizzard in Germany, so our connection is...
Munich. I'm sensing a theme.
Exactly. It's a total cliche. So it's midnight, I've got a 5-hour layover, I'm running a fever, and the airport is full of zombies like me. There's this blues band from New Orleans in the lounge. They were supposed to play a corporate party, but it got canceled. So instead, they're just sitting there, drinking and riffing on Christmas songs.
That sounds kind of perfect, actually.
It was. Like, you know those movies where the sad sack guy ends up with the misfit strangers, and it turns out better than some fancy dinner at home? That's what it was. We drank bad whiskey and sang along to Santa Baby and Run Run Rudolph. The band had only a harmonica and someone's kid's toy keyboard, but they were amazing. Pretty soon, all the other stranded passengers were crowded in. Japanese tourists, some Italian nuns, American teenagers glued to their phones, and a group of airline workers in Santa hats.
Did you all hold hands and sing Silent Night?
Not quite, but close. The highlight was this little old lady, maybe late 80s, giant glasses, aggressive grandma energy. She requests Little Drummer Boy. The harmonica guy just goes for it. The grandma gets up and starts conducting the crowd, and by the end, half the terminal is singing. I still get chills thinking about it.
That's a good one, Bo.
Yeah. I mean, I was still sick, missed my family, and had to sleep on the airport floor. But for those few hours, I felt like I had people, you know? Even if we never see each other again.
Did you ever make it home?
Got home Christmas morning. My wife picked me up at the airport, and I smelled like cough drops and jet fuel. But I made it in time for French toast and opening presents with the kids. Best Christmas I've had in years, honestly.
Why do you think that is?
Because I stopped trying to make it perfect. Every year, I obsess over getting the right gift, but this time, I just showed up. My family didn't care that I had no voice and hadn't showered since Frankfurt. They just wanted me home.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
It really is. If anyone out there is listening in some nowhere airport, or your car, or you're working a shift and just want to be home, you're not the only one. You're not missing out. You're just making a different kind of memory.
A blues band, a toy piano, and a nice Polish airport grandma. That's the kind of Christmas spirit I wish more people talked about.
She would have loved this show. Anyway, Mark, thanks for letting me share. I hope the guy from Cleveland and the mom with the gummy worms are listening too.
I bet they are. Have a good night, Bo. And try not to catch the death flu again, okay?
Copy that.
That's our last call, at least until the next round of insomnia, heartbreak, or accidental layovers. I'll be back with my closing thoughts, but first, enjoy our last musical number for the night. I know I do.
listening to Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM.
I've got to say, if I were grading this night's stories, I'd give them an A- for honesty and an A+ for making me permanently suspicious of all vending machines. For what it's worth, Bo, I've got an airport layover memory too, though in my case, I just ended up with a viral video of a guy eating 17 Cinnabons in one sitting, which didn't feel nearly as noble as singing Christmas carols with strangers. But seriously, there's something about those limbo zones, airports, late-night radio studios, parking lots at 3 a.m., that make people braver, or maybe just more themselves. I don't think it's the loneliness. It's more like the pressure's finally off, and you can just be whatever version of yourself you want. So, to the guy in Cleveland, don't sweat the cosmic bowling. You're not the only one carrying around a ghost or two. To Sarah, here's hoping you get your day in bed with the sour gummies and someone else remembers the Advil for you. And to Bo, next time you see a blues band stranded in an airport, buy them a drink from us. All right, whatever holiday it is, whatever you're doing tonight, here's to making it through intact, or at least with a story worth telling when you finally get home. Have a good night.